frames and lagged frames. All of these are caused by different things, and most of the time consumers will call all types of lag just dropped frames. So let's diagnose these in OBS. once the little cloud goes now directly install the Summer Splash. With Summer Splash, you want to create minimal portable counters with feeling of magic and your chance to go without it. Any single magic type of quantity they want to make. So they can start an amazing job. This pack comes with 4 or 5 different website sizes, every scene, alert notifications, everything you might use gets up as a Hardcore is also an amazing designer and able to professional, high quality pack that you'll never need to upgrade. I really recommend reaching out to Juristic. He's also linked in the description. And if you're nervous to reach out to a designer, that is totally normal. A few tips, if you do choose to, is first, before you put an order in, make sure you read their deliverables, read the different price points, and make sure you reach out directly to them with a message, with a brief, so you can ask them questions. You can see on screen now and in the Discord example briefs we use have these overlay packs made. We provided references to other overlays that we really like. We asked questions such as exactly what was included in the pack, and once we had a full discussion, we confirmed delivery dates and how many reviews we'd get. That said, if you're nervous about finding the right designer, you can go straight to the Fiverr's choice, the hand-selected designers, or of course, just go straight to the 2 designers who worked with us today that are linked in the description who made these ones because I trust them and I think they're brilliant. Okay, let's get into the download and installation of these overlays. First up, you're going to need to join our Discord with the link in the description. This is where we keep all of our overlay packs, including the ones today. Once you're in the Discord, you'll want to read the rules part of the Discord. If you agree to all of the rules, you will then click on this little verify button to see the rest of the Discord. From there, you'll scroll down to the channel named Free Stream Graphics. This has a link to every single overlay,
Hey, filmmaker. Let's talk. Have you heard?
DaVinci Resolve 8. My name is Billy Ripka, and I'm page. Well, of DaVinci Resolve, right? It's not the studio version. The studio version is the paid version. DaVinci Resolve 18, not down. If you want the free version, click the Windows or Mac or Linux, whatever system you run. Anyway, enter your information, then just click register and download, and it's gonna start downloading DaVinci Resolve 18 on your computer. Once it's done, you'll just go to the file and then right click on it and click extract all. This window is gonna pop up, just click extract. So once you've extracted it, just double click. Now you'll be met with the actual installer, right? So you have the DaVinci Resolve control panels and you got DaVinci Resolve 18 itself. Any of the control panels, if you don't have them, right? If you do not have the color panel, and you would know because you spent $1,000 or $2,000 on it. So if you don't have any of the panels, just unclick this. Otherwise, you're good. Hit install, and then just go through the setup process for DaVinci Resolve. Then once it's done, just click finish right here. Control panels, you'll see that if you don't have them, right? If you do not have the color panel, and you would know because you spent $1,000 or $2,000. So if you don't have any of the panels, just unclick this. Otherwise, you're good. Hit install, and then just go through the setup process for DaVinci Resolve. Then once it's done, just click finish right here. Control panels, you'll see that if you don't have them, right? If you do not have the color panel, and you would know because you spent $1,000 or $2,000. So if you don't have any of the panels, just unclick this. Otherwise, you're good. Hit install, and then just go through the setup process for DaVinci Resolve. Then once it's done, just click finish right here. Control panel, you'll see that if you don't have them, right? If you do not have the color panel, and you would know because you spent $1,000 or $2,000. So if you don't have any of the panels, just unclick this. Otherwise, you're good. Hit install, and then just go through the setup process for DaVinci Resolve. Then once it's done, just click finish right here. Control panel, you'll see that if you don't have them, right? If you don't have the color panel, and you would know because you spent $1,000 or $2,000. So if you don't have any of the panels, just unclick this. Otherwise, you're good. Hit install, and then go through the setup process for DaVinci Resolve. Then once and click finish off here. And you'll see that you don't have that right. If you don't have the color panel, and you would know because you spent $1,000. So if you don't have any of the panels, unclick this. Otherwise, you're good. Hit install. And unclick finish off here. You'll see that you don't have that right. If you don't have the color panel, and you would know because you spent $1,000. So if you don't have any of the panels, unclick this. Otherwise, you're good. Hit install. And unclick finish off. You'll see that you don't have that right. If you don't have the color panel, and you would know because you spent $1,000. Unclick this. Otherwise, you're good. Hit install. And $5. And unclick finish off. You'll see that you don't have that right. And you would know because you spent $1,000. Unclick this. Otherwise, you're good. Hit install. And $5. And unclick finish off. You would know because you spent $1,000.
thing you will learn, something massive gaming YouTubers do for every recording, and that is how to record both your gameplay and a webcam or camera at the same time inside OBS without burning the webcam over the top of the game. This gives you clean footage, meaning you can focus on one or the other, zoom in on either without issues, and make your edits far more engaging for viewers. Let's go. Obviously, to do all of this, you need to install OBS. So head to obsproject.com, I'll link it in the description, and download for your operating system. Click install once it's done, and you're ready to go. OBS is an incredible tool. You can use it to not just record games, but anything on your computer.
Hello guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to get this viral TikTok AI boost. So without being said, let's jump right into the video.
So before we show you how to set up your video settings properly, let's show you how to enter the giveaway. Own has given me dozens of vouchers to give out to you guys in the comments. These work alongside their global sale as well, which means anytime they put up a sale, you can grab pretty much any of their overlay packs, graphics, banners for your YouTube channel, you name it, for free or even just a few dollars. As I said, I'm giving them away in the comments. All you have to do to enter is comment #OwnGiveaway and select what graphics you buy. Maybe it's an overlay, maybe it's some sub badges, or maybe it's just a YouTube banner. Massive thank you to Own for sponsoring this video. If you want to support me, please go and support them with the link in the description or by entering the giveaway in the comments. Now, let's get back to the video. Once you have OBS installed, you're going to open it and see this big black box. This is called a preview window. This is where your gameplay and graphics will be. But first, I want to set up your video settings. Now, I know a lot of videos will give you a bunch of specific settings and tell you to copy them.
Cristiano Ronaldo is the GOAT. Sui.
Hey
guys, Rng Era just released and this is everything new.
So I'm going to make this simple for beginners while also trying to make sure you don't leave this video with no idea what to change if something goes wrong. If you understand what you're changing and why,
hey guys, ERA 7 just released and this is everything new.
Not hit massive snags and find yourself back at this video asking questions. So head to settings, click video, and
hey guys, ERA 7 just released and this is everything new.
I always record at 1920 by 1080p on both my base canvas.
Hey guys, ERA 7 just released and this is everything new in it.
Settings, essentially base canvas is your preview window size and the output is what your final video size is going to be. The two main resolutions you'll pick between are 1920 by 1080 or
hey guys, ERA 7 just released and this is everything new in it.
If you're on a low-end computer, 720p might be a better option for you. So if you find your OBS struggling later, you can come back here and drop the output to 720.
Hey guys, ERA 7 just released. This is everything new in it.
Better quality, but it won't be so intense on your PC. Below that is our FPS.
Hey guys, ERA 7 just released. This is everything new in it.
However, if you're say Australian like I am, or European, or another country that uses what's called PAL, you might want your FPS set to 25 or 50 depending on where you're sending the footage later. I'm in Australia and I still use 30 or 60 because it doesn't matter most of the time since everything just goes to YouTube these days. With that, we're moving on to our output. Personally, I used advanced mode, so I do recommend you do as well, so select that here in the output section. Since we're focused on recording today, we will click this tab that says recording. But if you want a guide on streaming settings, then please let me know in the comments and subscribe, I'll make that soon. Let's go down through the settings one at a time. First is recording path. This is where the recordings you make will be saved. I recommend making a folder called OBS Recordings, somewhere that you won't forget, and then setting this setting to that. Below that is recording format. The most common you'll know is MP4 or potentially MOV, but we're not going to record either of those because if we did,
hey guys, ERA 7 just released. This is everything new in it.
Stop recording when you didn't want it to, the file would corrupt and be unusable, which means you might lose hours of work. So instead, we're going to be recording as MKV files, and don't worry, I'll show you how to convert those to MP4 files later without issue inside OBS, so you can edit them. Below that, we have our video encoder. This used to be so simple, but it's gotten more confusing as more graphics cards have become decent for content creation. Damn computer engineers and trying to improve our hardware for us. So look, I will try and keep it simple for you by focusing on just 3 of these. Today we're going to talk about NVENC H.264, X264, and AV1. To make this straightforward, if you're using any NVIDIA card past the GTX 600, which was released in 2012, so likely any NVIDIA card being used on a semi-new PC,
First Terrain is a new Gargantua Aura. IT looks so cool. Obviously, it takes the black hole from the MOSI Interstellar.
And just used solely for coding and decoding, so it won't affect your gameplay performance at all. And if you're using a graphics card from before that or isn't compatible with NVENC, then you'll likely have to use X264, which will be using your CPU to encode and decode instead of your graphics card. Finally, AV1 is a newer encoder, and I will be honest, I'm still learning the best case for using it, and I'll link instead a video directly in the description by EPOS Vox, who has done extensive testing on this kind of thing if you want to deep dive. Below that, you have audio tracks and encoder. I left this as FFmpeg AAC, but I did turn on
First, there is a
6
new
audio tracks.
Gargantua
This is
aura.
very important
It looks so
because
cool.
It means I could split my
Obviously,
audio
it takes
up
the
to my
black
mic
hole
if
from the
I
movie
can't burn them
Interstellar.
together in my footage later. Again, very recommended. You'll see why later though. Now, depending on if you
First,
use
there is a
Nvenc
new
or X264,
Gargantua
you'll
aura.
need to use different
It looks
settings
so
below,
cool.
specifically
It
for
takes the
bitrate
black hole
boosting.
from the
A lot of
movie
people get
Interstellar.
bitrate confused because it's often talked about in relation to streaming on Twitch, which has a soft cap of 6,000. But bitrate, simply put, is the amount of information being saved or sent really. Higher bitrates means more information or higher quality, but it also means it is more taxing on your computer resources. Because of which, I see a lot of new creators record footage offline at 6,000 bitrate, except that is actually a really low bitrate for recording 1080p footage. Heck, it's even low for streaming, but Twitch just decided to soft cap it there and tell you all to get screwed. So let's set this up properly for recording.
Then there are new bios. Here are the new ones.
This will be set to
Corrupt.
CBR by default,
Hell.
which means you're recording at the same bitrate all the time. And below that is where you set the bitrate that you want to be recording at all the time. I found for 1080p 60 frames per second that recording at 15,000 to 18,000 bitrate gave me excellent quality for editing my gameplay footage down later. But any higher than that, I couldn't really tell a difference. That said, 8,000 to 9,000 bitrate did still give me usable and clean footage. So
Then
if
there
your
are
PC
new
is
biomes.
struggling,
Here are the new
start
ones.
at 8,000 and
Corruption.
9,000 and slowly increase to increase your quality. The issue is though, because CBR means I'm recording the same bitrate the entire time, I end up with massive files and a lot of wasted data. I did it because Twitch preferred CBR and it just kind of stuck, but if you want to get a little more complicated in recordings, instead I would recommend selecting CQP, which in short is smarter and will change the bitrate as needed so you're not wasting data. This does mean rather than setting a bitrate, you're setting a CQ level, which again, in short, a low number here means higher quality footage, but high numbers mean lower quality. I found recording at 15 gave me footage that was perfect and indistinguishable to viewers, so 0 issues. But 20 will also give totally usable footage. So again, if your OBS can't handle 15, start at 20 and slowly lower it down by 1 until you find a nice balance. Below that we have preset. A good starting place for this is to set it to good quality, but again, it's quite self-explanatory. Changing this up or down uses more or less computer resources, but of course changes quality slightly. Below that is tuning. I set mine to high quality, but again, that is more intensive, slower, but better footage. Now, multi-pass mode lets you tell OBS to do another pass on the encoding. A single pass means this is off, 2/4 res means it's better than single, and 2 full res is the highest. I don't think many of you will be able to distinguish a difference, so single is fine for most, especially on low-end PCs. I don't want to overcomplicate this for you. Finally, since you're using Nvenc, leave on psycho-visual tuning as NVIDIA recommends it. My GPU
There
is
are
set
more
to 0
new
and my
auras.
B-frame set
Power,
to 2.
Gargantua,
I know that was
Glock.
a lot of detail,
Yes,
but hopefully
there
you'll
is
be
a
able
Glock.
to follow my settings and understand how to change these if your PC is struggling. I'll show you how to diagnose if your settings are too high in a second, so stick around. But first, X264 CPU encoding settings are a bit different, so I want to highlight those quickly. If you change video encoder to X264,
There are more
and
new
scroll down to
auras.
the encoder
Power,
settings, you'll see CBR is
Gargantua,
the same,
Glock.
and it also
Yes,
works the same.
there
as
is a
previously
Glock.
explained.
Pretty
But
cool in
instead
it.
of CQP, we have CRF. This, while being called different, works pretty much the same as CQP for a beginner. AKA a lower number is better, but it's
There are
intense on
more
the
new
computer.
auras.
The other settings are very similar to
Power,
Nvenc as well, but if you're curious, I
Gargantua,
set mine to very fast
Glock.
and high, and then I adjust
Yes,
if needed. But wait,
there is a
what does
Glock.
if needed
Pretty
actually
cool
mean?
in it
How can
and
I
more.
tell if OBS is struggling? Well, the fastest way is to actually just record some gameplay and watch the footage back. You'll usually be able to see any issues you're having, but the best way is actually to use the OBS stats panel while
There are
click
more new
view and
auras.
click stats.
Power,
You'll get a lot of information
Gargantua,
such as CPU
Glock.
usage, storage
Yes,
space, current FPS,
there is a
which are all
Glock.
helpful, but
Pretty
the 3
cool
I
in
want
it.
to focus
And
on
there is
are
more.
skip and lagged frames. Most don't know the difference, but learning this will make life a lot easier for troubleshooting. If you're not streaming and just recording, then drop frames won't happen. Drop frames are when your internet or network are having connection or stability issues. So imagine you're sending your video over the internet through a big tube, but there's holes in the tube and frames keep leaking out. Next is lag frames, seen here, and these are caused by high GPU usage, which means to solve these,
There
you
are
need to
more
free up
new
your
auras.
GPU by lowering
Power,
your resolution,
Gargantua,
general video settings,
Glock.
or other
Yes,
encoding settings a bit.
there is a
as I showed
Glock.
you earlier. Below
Pretty
that is
cool
skip
in it.
frames, which
And
are
there is
caused
more.
by high CPU usage. And again, lowering your resolution, your general video settings, other encoder settings, settings.
There are
or,
more
if
new
possible,
auras.
Switch to
Power,
NVENC to utilize your
Gargantua,
CPU
dot
more and
Glock.
give your CPU
Yes.
room to breathe.
There
But
is a
with all
Glock,
of that,
pretty cool
congratulations,
in
the
it,
hard part
and there is
over.
more.
Now it is smooth sailing. If you tried to record gameplay right now, you'd get a big black screen with no audio, and I'm sure there is an audience for that.
There are more
but
new
it's probably
auras.
pretty niche.
Power,
so let's
Gargantua,
add our audio settings
dot Glock.
now. Click settings.
there are
go to
more
audio,
new
and you'll be
auras.
met with 6 global audio devices. If you're using a microphone
Power.
and want to record your voice while gaming,
Gargantua.
click Mic Aux Audio 1 and select your microphone.
There are
from the
more
list.
new
Then for all
auras.
other PC audio such as games,
There are more
Spotify,
new
music,
auras.
etc.,
Power.
click desktop audio and
Gargantua.
set this to
dot
your
Glock.
default Windows system
Yes.
audio. For me,
There
that's
is
my
a
system
Glock.
Bridgecast, but for
Pretty
you,
cool in
might
it,
be
and
for
there are more new
speakers
auras.
or something else.
Power.
Confirm it,
Gargantua,
and go to the Windows
dot
settings
Glock.
and whatever the
Yes,
output
there is a
either
Glock.
you use normally
Pretty
or
cool
like
in it,
Word,
and there is
or
more.
just set it to default. Once you've